Hi everyone, welcome to Marks of Maturity. We are continuing our short series about staying on mission or getting on mission. And today we're talking all about sharing the good news. Waypoint is a multiplying church that equips people to worship God, share the good news. And that's what we want to talk about here today. Now, I don't know about you, but it's pretty easy for sharing the gospel to become this thing that is way more complicated and something that we overthink and trip ourselves over. And I don't want that for us. I want this to be something that really becomes natural and good and a part of who we are. I've got three big ideas for you to think about in your venture to include sharing the gospel as just a part of life. The first one is familiarize yourself with Scripture. You do not need to know all of it, but familiarize yourself with a particular verse or maybe a couple of them, but start with one if you don't have a go-to verse. It can be John 3:16, but there are others that you might just find speak to you in a more personal kind of a way. So lean into that. It might be Romans 6:23. It might be John 11:25 and 26. It might be John 5:24, crossing over from death to life. Whichever one you really gravitate towards, learn it, memorize it, make it a part of who you are when you talk about Jesus. You do not need to unpack all of the nuances and doctrine of how we're saved when you're talking to somebody, but you should be familiar with Scripture. So do that. It'll make it easier for you because it'll be right there for you, and you can function in that. The second thing is get familiar with your own story. Well, don't you know your own story? Of course you do. But think about times when you have trusted Jesus and He has provided for you. You might tell the story of when you gave your life to Jesus. That's always a strong move, but I'll bet you that He has provided for you at other times in life as well. People are interested in that. So think about that. Have a couple, three stories that you're able to speak about well, and just to communicate to others what Jesus has done for you. That's unique to you. That's your story. The third thing, the final thing, is get familiar with questions. Everybody has questions. And I don't think that people are looking for Christians who have all the answers and just can fire back all of the stuff to kind of refute whatever thing that they're going through. They want to know that you've wrestled, that you've worked it through, that you have more than just a blind faith. And so lean into that stuff. People have doubts for so many reasons. Some of them have to do with logic and reason, the way that they view the world. And some of it has to do with the hypocrisy of certain people, or just different challenges or moments maybe when they feel like God let them down. I'll bet you've experienced some of that yourself. Don't be afraid of that. Lean into that stuff. Share the good news, and may the Lord be with you in that venture. Have a great day.